Christine Balzani joins us, and let me tell you, she has written 2 best-selling books that are so important for people maybe who haven't even been through some of the things that she talks about. She's very, very inspiring. Look at her right there with a big smile on her face, and for a very good reason. Her book that we're going to talk about today, and we're going to also mention the other one too, Dry Your Eyes, Girl, From Surviving to Thriving After Childhood Sexual Abuse. So think about that and let that sink in. Christine, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Kate.
So let's talk about this journey that you're on. What made you write this book? Because it's so difficult to talk about things that happened in the past, and especially when you've been through a very dark tunnel, but you came out on the other side and thrived.
I did. Well, let me start from the beginning. It's not too long. I was sexually abused by an uncle from the time I was 5 years old till I was 8 years old. I'm 13 years old, so for 8 years. And I was told, when I had the courage to tell my mom at 5 years old, that no one would believe me. And not only so, I was told, my uncle said no one would love me, but my mom said, go play, no one's going to believe us. So immediately I lost my voice. So 27 years go by. I've had 2 out of my 3 children. My oldest was turning 5 years old. That being the age it happened to me, I started having flashbacks. One was so bad that I walked into the bathroom and I looked in the mirror and I saw my uncle's face, literally behind me. Freaked me out. Obviously, I wasn't getting good sleep back in those days and raising 2 small boys. My husband then would try and hold me and stop me from shaking, but neither one of us knew really what was happening. I do now that I think about it, but I can get into that later. Then a few days, maybe a week later, I don't remember the timing of it all, I was in the best sleep I ever had. And all of a sudden, I saw Jesus dying on the cross. It was so vivid. The only way I could describe it is if you've seen Passion of the Christ.
Yes.
But Passion of the Christ was not out yet. So if this is not a God thing, I don't know what is, okay? That was the beginning of my healing journey. Now, during those years, I got divorced. We moved back over. I live in South Florida. When we moved back to South Florida, when my daughter, she was born out in Utah. She was about 3 or 4. We got a divorce. We're still best friends. He's still, in their life and everything. But I made a lot of bad decisions. So that brought me to my second book, actually, From the Childhood Sexual Abuse. I was out traveling out in California. I lived there for about 6 years on and off as a travel MRI tech. And I was driving on the 405 in traffic, go figure. No traffic out there, right?
Right.
So I heard clearly. Now this is fast forwarding. I've been through the therapy. I've done the 12 steps for codependency. I've done all kinds of trauma. I went to meetings for trauma, for this, that, and the other. So I worked hard to heal. But in 2023, I heard in my spirit, it was almost audible at the right side of in my right ear, you're going to write a book. And I said, who dat? Okay, this is so I met people through this class I was taking. And it was about author, speaker, coach. And I said, okay, because I had been trying to make money somehow. I was going to do stocks. I was going to do an online business. And I was like, you know what? But I like the idea. And so I heard you're going to write a book. So the idea was planted in my head, but also God kind of told me. And I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm going to do it. So I met a publisher, and she and I were just starting out at the same time. She gave me a great price. I was willing to let her lead the way, but I had to write the book over 4 times. 4 times I said, I stink at writing. I am no good at this. I'm give up, blah, blah, blah. And she says, no, Christina, she called me up. You don't stink at writing. You're not a stinky author, okay? She said, but let's do it this way. So the 4th, I finally said, I wrote it over like 3 times. The 4th time I said, Lord, I need help. If you aren't here to help me, you told me to write this book, you're not here to help me. I said, then I can't write this. And the minute I surrendered, the words just flew like butter. And I wrote the book on pen and paper. I literally wrote them, and I have them all in a folder, both of them, because I like writing, and then I'll type and do the corrections and things like that. But to me, the writing is really what made it come out.
And it's interesting because I didn't mean to interrupt you, but when you're talking about this journey, I mean, you're working on this journey, and it's like I said, and you're talking about surviving and thriving. So do you feel like, wow, once you saw Jesus, once you had that great sleep, once you started to take charge, do you feel like this is healing? This is a process?
It definitely is a process. It was more, and it took longer. I mean, we're fast forwarding, we're talking 20 years.
Yeah.
20 years. This journey has not been overnight. That's what I want to reiterate to people, because it's not an overnight where, boom, you're healed. Because I thought that way. I'm a very impatient person, and I want to fixed right away. And I couldn't be fixed. God can do certain things in a minute. Yes, of course he can. But in this sort of process and this dealings, I think God is so awesome and so gentle that he works on your heart little by little. He places he glues it back together, because the Bible says God is close to the brokenhearted. And so he gently led the way. I didn't know he was doing it. And all while I'm still making decisions over the last 20 years, like I was and I wrote about it clearly in my second book. I was in an abusive relationship for 6 years, maybe 8, 6 years too long, obviously.
Right.
I just kind of said to myself, I wrote the book, got it published, and the reason I say God delivers is because I don't say it to everybody. I've written 2 bestsellers, and I've collaborated on 2 others. So for me, God really does deliver. And if he can do it for me, he could do it for anyone. I'm just a normal girl. Yeah. Well,
I think you're extraordinary in many ways. But so when they read your book, Dry Your Eyes, Girl, when people read that book, what do you hope they discover?
Well, the Dry Your Eyes Girl is from the girl's point of view. So it starts out from the beginning, and I want them to know, number one, it wasn't their fault. And if they have any feelings like it was, then wipe them out completely. Get them out of your head, whatever it takes. Find a safe person. If you're in any type of situation, go to a safe person. Open your mouth. Use your voice. Because my voice was taken for way too long. And if I would have, part of my healing when I was in Utah is I had to ask my dad and ask my brother, when we were grown up, obviously, I was the kids and everything, would you have believed me? And immediately they said, of course we would have. And my dad, that's the first time I saw my father cry. Dad's tough Marine, ex-Marine, and I'd never seen my dad cry. But his little girl telling him something like this made him. So I want people to know that, yes, people will believe you if you go to the right people. My mom just didn't know what to do with it. My mom, before she died, we were closer than ever. She's apologized. I wrote about that in the book also. She apologized. She just didn't know what to do, with the information. So she didn't know how to handle it. And 6 months before she died, she accepted Jesus as her Lord and Savior from being a devout atheist. Just so
Wow.
so yeah.
Wow. And you talk about it, finding, I mean, it's not that you didn't have God in your life. You and I talked off the air and you mentioned growing up Catholic, but the deeper understanding, the connection, what has that meant to your life? And you talk about it. Obviously, that's prevalent in your book.
I mean, from the time I was a little girl, I was raised Catholic, so I knew of Jesus. My grandmother would used to say, offer it to Jesus if I bumped my knee or fell down and had a boo-boo, or offer it to Jesus, offer it to Jesus. She taught me the love of Jesus, but she didn't teach me how to have a relationship with him. So I think, this is me, that he was calling out to me the whole time. I'm here, Christina. I'm here. I'm waiting for you to just accept and just let me heal your heart. Because the heart is it can be broken and shattered. And for me, and this is my opinion, whether they agree with it, people agree with it or not, I think the only one can actually work on a human heart is God. And that's because without him, I don't know where my life would have gone.
Right. And you talk about this, you take us through a journey. When people get toward the end of the book, they see, so many other things happen to you. So tell us the flip side of the thriving. And you're not going to give away everything because that people need to get your book, which they can get on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, all of that. But tell us some thriving stories.
Well, I feel like I thrive because I no longer am insecure. I'm no longer that cowing down to people who tell me different. And people can agree with me, and yes, and I can be. Everybody's entitled to disagree. Look what happened to Charlie Kirk. People disagreed with him all the time, whether you loved him or you didn't. But if people agree with me, that's great. Then we can have a dialogue. But if you don't agree with me, we can also have a dialogue. And the thriving is that I'm not that insecure person where I'm just going to agree with you just because you agree with me. So number one, if you don't acknowledge where the pain comes from, you have to expose the lies that you've been told your whole life. You got to break those generational cycles. All of this in the meantime is that's part of thriving, is because you've broken all that, and then you can come out on the other side saying, no, I am worthy. I'm worthy. I am one, I'm pretty cool. Like I said.
Right.
And not in a cocky sort of way, excuse the no pun, but in a way that you could say, I am strong, I am powerful. And part of that, I took a class called gratitude training down here in South Florida years ago. And I thought I was going to be fixed right away. When I got done with the class, I'm like, okay, no, it's taken up until 2023 when I started writing the book to actually really, wow, this is something that it's way beyond what I can even explain. It's bigger and deeper than any of us can, because it's all soul level, and that's part of thriving. When I say thrive, it's your soul that thrives.
Wow, that's deep, and I love it. I think you're right. I would agree with you on that for sure. Yeah. Tell us about the. I want to make sure I mention this because what's interesting is you have that knowledge. You know how to go through that tunnel. You know what happened to you, and I think that's powerful when people help other people from that perspective. And you do coach. I do. I coach others. Whether I'm mostly young adults. Men or women, because sadly when I did my research, I found that 90%, I say 80, they said 60% of women, 20% of men have all been gone through some sort of sexual abuse as children, whether it's inappropriate touching or whatever. I'm not going to name them, but which could lead to things. So with my coaching, I'm going to ask the questions like, why do you feel like you need to drink? Or why do you feel like you need to take those pills? Because I openly admit I was addicted to pain pills for, I want to say a good 5 years or so. That was part of numbing the pain. I'd go in for a surgery and I come out, I'm addicted.
no, that's not what God's plan is, So I want people to know through my coaching program, we delve deep. Now, obviously, it's a case-by-case scenario,
right?
But like the first question I would ask is, what led you to call me in the first place? What do you want? Where do you want to be? Now, I'm not going to go from A to Z. We're going to go from A to B to C, each step, and it's one-on-one with me for 12 weeks, and we get to know each other the first week, so it's really 13. And they have 24-hour Voxer availability, which is like a walkie-talkie on the phone. They can Vox me at any time if they're having a crisis or whatever, just to be whatever if they want to talk. But during business hours, I'll get back to them within 24 hours. That's one of the stipulations. I can't really call you because I'm not a therapist.
Right.
I'm not a therapist, and I would suggest somebody, if they're in a crisis, to actually obtain medical help. That's been one of the,
Sure. It's one of the stipulations for sure. It makes sense. Or it's one of the things that you certainly share. So, Christina, what does that mean for you to, first of all, have this book, this second book out there, and it's so personal and so, I think your journey is so inspirational to help so many other people. I guess that's the good way to put it. What does that feel like for you?
It feels like I want to get into as many hands as possible, because I know how many people out there. If you've ever made a bad decision, my second book, Dry Your Eyes Woman, is about bad decisions made stemming from childhood sexual. It's called Bad Decisions Don't Make Great Stories, or something. I forgot the subtitle completely. It's a long subtitle, but Dry Your Eyes Woman is if you've ever made a bad decision, whether you've been sexually abused or not, that's good. That I want people to read it. Because I deal with every subject in that book. I'm not going to go too deep, but I deal with every grief, abortion, domestic violence, and the sexual, like things that people, like it's deeper, like it may be for women, but it's not. It's called Dry Your Eyes Woman because I'm a woman, and I just kind of named it that. But I want people to see that there's available, help out there, and they can thrive.
What's next for you? What more books?
I am going to write another. I haven't started the process yet. I hope my publisher doesn't try and push me too quickly, because it's, to write a book. The last one I wrote, within 6 months I was done. We made bestseller. I was like, wow, but that's the way I roll. Apparently I wrote the other one in less than a year too. So I was like, wait a second. I'm not quite ready to write it just yet, but it's going to be called I Dried My Eyes. So we'll see. Hopefully coaching, speaking engagements, podcast guesting, like with yourself, with wonderful people that can interview me, get my voice out there, because I finally found my voice.
Yay, and that's the good news for sure. All right, where can people go to find out more about you? You have a great website.
I do. I have a website. It's called christinasafespace.org. And people want to get in touch with me, they can email me at christinadryyoureyes@gmail.com. And then I have Instagram at Dry Your Eyes Coach. And then Facebook is Dry Your Eyes. You can get it's
easy to remember. Yeah.
Yes. And then my YouTube also, I've been posting a little on that lately, is Stina B2306. So it's with 3 E's. So it's STEEENA B2306. That's the only one that's a little different, but that's my
I love it. Lots of roads
LinkedIn if they want.
Lots of roads lead to Christina Balzani. So awesome. Think about it. Dry Your Eyes girl, from surviving to thriving after childhood sexual abuse. You are so inspirational, and it is so important, and I can't wait to see what happens for you next. Keep inspiring. Keep helping people.
Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you.